Hey everybody, welcome to That's Good Broncos. I'm Brandon Perna here with legendary drug smuggler Alan Sharp, and the Broncos just dropped their second loss in a row to the Pittsburgh Steelers, coming off a loss to the Oakland Raiders in which they did the exact same fucking thing. They played a tremendous first half of offense and defensive football, and then just shit the bed in the second half, mostly just the offense. This week, you could say maybe Brock Osweiler's shoulder injury hindered him in that second half, but there were 2 drop passes late in the game. In addition to that, the offense just had a ton of 3 and outs and looked anemic for that entire second half. I think this performance by the offense is a little harder to pinpoint exactly what went wrong, because at least against the Oakland Raiders, you could say everybody was dropping the ball. This game, 2 people dropped the ball. I think Mike Tomlin might have called Jack Del Rio this week and said, hey, what'd you do in that second half? And Jack Del Rio said, well, the secret is the Broncos are going to play good for one half, and I didn't do anything different the second half. They're just going to shoot themselves in the foot. I don't know. What'd you think, Alan?
Yeah, I agree. It was, like you said, real stinky, shitting the bed kind of game.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard as a Broncos fan to watch a team do so good in the first half, dominate on all sides of the ball, really.
Yeah,
and
4 touchdowns in the first half for the offense.
You had last week, we dominated, but we weren't able to punch it into the end zone. This week, they did, 4 field goals last week, 4 touchdowns this week. That should be the difference. That should be the kind of offensive performance that propels you to an easy victory. Instead, you come out second half. Offense, I don't know if it was poor decision-making by Brock, but it seemed like the coverage got a lot tighter, so I'm not sure what was going on in that passing game in the second half. But the first half, we could throw it around to about anybody. Second half,
we couldn't find
anybody. And then it kind of, we didn't ever establish the run game at all, so there wasn't even the run game to kind of lean on when we needed it. Don't know if that's because running backs are unhealthy or because the Steelers had a shitty secondary, but that shitty secondary stopped us all second half. So frustrating loss, that's for sure.
I know you guys come here for answers because I usually have them, but I don't have an answer for this loss at all. You're right. I think Brock looked a little bit off target in the second half when he did have some guys sort of open, and then he had some players not sort of come through for him. But when you score 4 touchdowns in the first half of the game and then you score 0 in the second half, they couldn't even muster a fucking field goal in the second. They couldn't drive down the field. It was very frustrating to watch, and it's the definition of deja vu, because you're watching the game and you're like, this can't be happening again.
Right.
Surely at some point they're gonna break through and score that touchdown, and then Brandon Marshall makes a clutch interception with 2 minutes left in the game, and the Broncos just fire 4 incompletions after that?
Yeah, 4 shots, and Brock was taking aggressive shots down the field, but you kind of wonder, you got to do something. We didn't move a yard.
Yeah.
Get some yards. We have 4 downs. The momentum's on our side. And, that was tough. That was a tough to watch them not even get 1 yard after a great interception.
Do you think they showed Peyton Manning talking to Brock right there at the end? Do you think he said, if you blow this one, I'll give you a chunk of the Papa John's money I make?
Well, I know that's exactly what happened.
So maybe this is just Peyton making a play to get back on the field.
Maybe
his foot doesn't even hurt.
I can't say you're wrong, but I can say you're right. That's exactly what's going on.
Fuck. Now we have to worry about the Kansas City Chiefs, because if we lose one of the next 2 games, we're going to have the same record with them if they win out. So we have to beat the Bengals. We have to beat the Chargers, which, I don't know. It looked like early in the season, we should be running away with the division right now. The Bengals, I think, looked pretty good today with A.J. McCarron. I didn't get to watch any of that game yet. So I don't think that's going to be an easy victory for the Broncos next week, and they could easily drop that. So now, buy some medication to help your nervousness or your heart problems, because things are getting tense.
Listen, I think we're going to be all right. I'll even guarantee we'll win this Super Bowl. That's the easy part. I think having a couple of losses late in the season, here's the when you have to put the rosy shaded glasses on,
right?
As a Broncos fan, and stop thinking about how your Sunday's over, you gotta go back to work tomorrow.
Right.
Because that sucks. But for Broncos fans, I think, get some late season losses. Maybe next week they come out on fire, they can work on some things, and you go into the playoffs with some momentum. You still have 2 games to kind of work out, what's going wrong and try to right the ship, so to speak.
The good news is the defense still is good, despite the third quarter where they had some tackling issues. They gave the offense chances in that fourth quarter to win the game. So it's just a matter of figuring out what's going on down the stretch with the offense, whether that's the players, the play calling, the scheme, I don't know. But we'll see what happens. Maybe Peyton Manning and Brock Osweiler do an experimental surgery where they replace certain parts of their body and form one super quarterback.
That'd be sexy.
The future is now.
I'd watch it.
That's a very attractive quarterback.
Yow.
All right, that's it. The review episode will probably be up late, either very late Monday night or Tuesday morning, because I'm going to the Avalanche game. Maybe I'll just switch over to a team that I think is hot right now. I think they might be the team to jump over ship to. So, stay tuned for the review. It might be Tuesday morning. Fair warning. Subscribe, follow Alan Sharp and I on Twitter.
Watch his shit. He's the best thing out there.